So I have this Epic Evo, and it never fails to put a smile on my face. I love it. It does everything that I want it to do. There's nothing wrong with it. But a new one came out, and apparently I'm a magpie, attracted to shiny things. So I got it. So I'm going to explain what's different, what I like, and was it worth it? So behind me are all of the things that I need to build this bike. I went with the Epic 8 Evo. The reason I got the Evo is because I don't want an Evo, but this allowed me to get the frame set. I liked the white. The only thing that makes this an Evo is this. Oh, what's really easy to do is swap this for this, and then put this on. And now I have the non-Evo, which is still 120 mil of travel here and 110 travel here on the shock. I think it's gonna look mean. So I wanted to show off what I got and explain why I got them. Building it up this way, I'm hoping I can get this thing, even though this is not the S-Works frame, and the white is a heavier paint job. I want to get this thing pretty light, and there are maybe some choices that I could have made to make it a little bit lighter, things that I can still upgrade in the future. Epic 8 frame set. This is just the new one. It's apparently a little bit longer.
Even longer.
It does have this nifty little, internal frame storage that everybody's adding nowadays. The Evo Complete bike is like 3 or 4 pounds heavier. So I got the Sid Lux Ultimate Shock, 110 travel. This is the exact same shock that's on the S-Works. The fork is the same that's on the S-Works. This is the version for the trigger to have the remote lockout. I don't ever use that. I always just run it open pretty much always anyways. I'm just not even gonna route a trigger for it. It's just extra weight. Next, for the dropper, I decided to go with the 1-Up. The reason for this is because this is the lightest 30.9 150 dropper. I would have loved to have done the Fox Transfer SL because that is light. It's a bit lighter than this. In the 30.9 size, it doesn't come in 150. This is pretty close on the weight, actually. This is also rebuildable. I just had a Fox factory dropper fail on me after not the whole lot of use, and this is way simpler to be able to fix. I can rebuild it if I need to in the future. It's the lightest dropper that you can get with 150 mil drop with a 30.9 size. I already had the Control SL wheels. These are light. They aren't the lightest things nowadays. There are lighter ones. These are like 1,250 grams, I forget, maybe a little bit less than 1,250. So it is a light wheel set, and it's sturdy, and they have treated me well. So I'm reusing these, moving these over to this. To pair with the wheels, I bought Fast Track Grid Light tires. The Grid Light is the little bit heavier version, but it has extra sidewall protection. They only came in black. I don't want flats. With a little extra protection, but these are still light tires. Then there's all the other goodies. I have this already. I really wanted to get the new XX power meter because it looks so cool. I had this already, and I have to be honest, I like the flashy and nice things, but I'm also too practical to not use this when I found out that this power meter is actually like 12 grams lighter than the new one.
Seriously, Greg?
Which is nothing, but I have this and it is lighter, so why should I upgrade?
Because it'd be cool.
Power saddle. I'd run power 3D printed saddle on all of my bikes. I'm doing everything SRAM. That is good looking. That's a good looking rotor right there. Then I started playing the game of, okay, what is the best value for the weight? The Level Silver Stealth 4-piston brakes. These are light. They're not the top end, but they are pretty close. The actual silver ones, the top of the line ones look cool, but I couldn't justify spending an extra I forget, $100, $150 for the silver and for a matter of grams. Then when it came to the derailleur, I opted for the XO. Now the XXSL is 30 grams-ish lighter for a lot more money. So bang for the buck, the XO is hard to beat. This is like 6 grams heavier than the XX. So the XXSL would allow you to save some weight, but seriously, it's like 30 grams. Black XO chain. And then again, going to the cassette, it's really hard to argue with the performance and the price of the XO. The cassette is the bigger difference, and the XO cassette is literally half the price, and it is 36 grams heavier than the XXSL. So if you want to save some Zenny coins, get the XO. Yeah, I mean, 36 grams for like $200+ less. So think of that when you're adding your cassette. Also, remember that cassettes wear out. So you're just going to have to replace this in the future. Do you want to replace it with the more expensive one? I opted actually for not an integrated bar. I know there's a lot of options out there, but none of them really just kind of did it for me. The Specialized one and a lot of others, they got this weird like pizza wedge shape. Just don't love. Also, I don't like their computer mount wraps around the front to get on top. You've got the clean integrated bar, and then you've got this goofy computer mount that comes around the front. I went with the Allied. A lot of times with stems, it's lighter to go aluminum. All my Rode stems usually lighter. So this setup is actually comparing the Specialized one. I know there are some other ones that are lighter, but you know, comparing the Specialized one-piece carbon bar, this is the same width. With the 70 mil stem, this comes in 31 grams lighter than the Specialized. This is actually a really clean looking computer mount. It just kind of fits on top, and it's way cleaner than the Specialized one, and because I'm always going to run a computer. So the difference is actually even more than just those 31 grams. So I opted for this because it looks cool, I think. It's pretty clean looking, that bar stem kind of setup. The limiting factor, this is, the 70 mil is the longest option. So if you want longer than that for your XC bike, you may need to get something else. So that's the bike. Now I'm going to build it up. First thing first, dropper, so that I can put this bad boy in the stand. Boom, baby. Don't be scared to do this yourself. Just send it. Push all the soapy bubbles out. Head tube is covered. Oh. Now to remove the shock. Position does the flip chip come in? Oh, still waiting for this. Fox Factory. Sid Lux Ultimate. 246.1. Wow, that's actually more substantial than I thought. Okay, so flip switch has been flipped to go from the default of the Evo, which is low, to the high, which is the default for the Epic non-Evo. And just like that, we've got the Sid Lux Ultimate, saving, what was that, 90 grams? I forget. Almost 90 grams, 80 something grams. I didn't hook up for a remote lockout because I'm just gonna run it open all the time. A little cleaner, a little lighter. I'm just gonna run it open pretty much most of the time anyways, so I still have to cut the steer. Obviously, I don't have the tools to do this, so I have to take this over to a friend's house. So I'm just gonna get to the point where I can feed stuff through, have the right lengths. I'll chop this and then tighten everything, do everything right. I know people are gonna be laughing at me for doing it this way. I know I'm overcomplicating things, but here I am. Oh, it's looking like a bike all of a sudden. How close am I gonna be to how tall it's supposed to be for me? Oh my goodness, I'm too low. Here's my saddle height. So I'm just taping this off so that I can then pull this again. Got the MX trigger that'll attach to my brake. Don't get me started on what SRAM gives me for the Axis pod. Now we're gonna see how easily does this feed through with these nifty channels. Oh, there it is. It's a funny story. I'm trying to do the dropper, so I've routed this through. Easily gets it to here. I can just stick my finger up, then the cable goes here into this bend, then it pushes it here, and then every single time, the bend was just perfect to lead it into here. My fingers aren't long enough. I couldn't get an Allen to funnel it because it's actually deeper than it looks. So I tied it down here. I've got my S-Works shoelace from my mountain bike shoes. I just tied it to the end of this so that I could then guide it through. And I've got it tied to the end here. Worked like a charm. I had to be very careful because obviously this, I could only get it so tight, but I just pulled on it. Worked. My flashlight, a night rider. No derailleur to grab. Steer cut looks dope. Time to finish this thing up. Want to ride. For the brake lever. So I've got my ESI grip. If that goes here, I'll park it. Finishing touches, ESI grips, and these things on. Et voila. Shrink. I've been riding both of these bikes, and while it's not an apples to apples comparison, it's going to be very similar. Bikes are intended for the same thing. I've got the same amount of travel on both bikes. Gearing's the same. I'm even riding the same wheel set. But I do have several thoughts about the build and then what some of those differences are. So number one is about the travel, the suspension. So I'm running RockShox Sid fork and shock. It definitely feels more efficient than the old Fox stuff. On top of that, it's almost a pound lighter. So it's not insignificant. So next I upgraded to the new SRAM transmission group set. It is very nice and it's impressive how well it does shifting under load. Like, it feels great, but it's not life-changing. The new bike is longer, so I'm still actually kind of getting used to that. The old bike maybe felt a little bit easier in some of the tight stuff, but this feels more stable, which, is generally a positive thing. Honestly, the best update about the frame set is internal storage with your glizzy holders. Just pop one of these bad boys in, good to go. Save the rest for later. Pop right back in its slot. Maybe I'll grab a worm, a couple of worms. And in case you're wondering, it weighs 23 pounds, 4 ounces. Not bad. With cages, computer mount, SWAT storage thing.
Pedal, right.
Tires that are heavier than stock. There's some dirt on this thing. Could save another ½ pound with the new Roval wheels. Could save weight on the saddle. There's a slew of things you could do to make this thing a lot lighter, but 23 pounds and it's fully functional, good grip. This thing's fun. So my impression is, if you're upgrading just for the frame set, I don't know that it's really worth it.
Unless you're hot or rich.
That's my opinion. But the sum of all the parts, I do like this bike better. It does feel a bit quicker. It does feel faster to me. And I'm very happy with it overall. And I really like my hot dog holder. So that's a big plus. And gummy worm frame storage. So overall, the bike's a win. But you need to hurry out and upgrade to it from the last one. Not so sure about that.